Hello and welcome to episode 315 of the video show. Today we're talking about video background. So everything that's going on in the background behind you. And as you can see, there's lots going on in the background behind me. So I wanted to talk about what your options are in terms of background. So in terms of the videos you make, in terms of Zoom backgrounds, so that it helps you make an informed decision about what kind of things you can do to create a background that's not too distracting, but is something that can look distinctive and can really resonate with your audience as well. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because I was having a Zoom call with somebody the other day, and they put one of those like fake green screen Zoom backgrounds on, where it was like their logo behind them, and when they moved, you could sort of see like what was actually behind them. I'm going to show you an example now. So I shot this video yesterday trying to sort of show you what the effect is. So let's take a look to give you an idea of what I mean. So if anybody tuning in then, they would have thought I was going through some sort of weird mime video on LinkedIn, which is probably not going to get people to watch it very much. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what sort of made me think I don't think that's a very good background. And I think a lot of people would feel the same way about what like creating a background. So I'm not a fan of the backgrounds on Zoom in terms of that. I did make a video a few months ago in terms of like having fun with Zoom. So let's have a look at that now, see if I can get that up. The video show today, we're having fun with Zoom. So yesterday I posted a video on LinkedIn that showed me on Zoom having a cup of tea. So I was sitting there in my seat, and then me in the background comes along, gives me a cup of tea, I pick it up and drink it. And loads of people commented on it, which I was really thrilled about. And I thought I'd put together a video just to show how you can replicate that and how you can do this kind of thing yourself. So let's have a look. So the first thing you need to do is to create a new movie recording. I did this on QuickTime. So through my webcam, I recorded myself bringing myself a cup of tea. I was very careful not to get my arm in it or my body in it as I came along. I came along, recorded it, put my cup of tea down, sort of nodded, looked at the camera, did what I needed to do, and then walked away. And then I was very careful when I put my arm back in so it wasn't in shot, just to make sure that it wasn't in shot at the end of recording. Then in terms of getting it uploaded to Zoom, you log into Zoom, create a new meeting, and then when you open Zoom, you choose new virtual background, add video instead of image, select the video that you want to have as your background, and then there you've got it. You've got hours of fun, bring yourself a cup of tea, and just see if the people in your Zoom meetings notice. So that's it for episode 295, a very short but quite a fun episode. I would absolutely love to see what kind of videos you come up with in your Zoom background. So if you want to record those, send me those. Just enjoy having fun with them. And I really want to see what kind of videos you come out with. So that's how you do it. Enjoy it, have fun, and I'll see you next time in episode 296. Bye-bye. So I am a fan of creating stuff like that where it's quite funny. So if you're in a networking meeting on Zoom or something like that, and you do something like that, I think that's quite funny to do. It breaks the ice a little bit. It gets people talking. So if you can be creative with Zoom backgrounds like that, that's when I'm in favor of them. But in terms of just creating a video, like a background for your Zoom meeting where it's just your logo or it's just a plain color, it's not a good look in my opinion. So what can you do with the stuff around you? What kind of things can you do to create a background that's not just distinctive and looks good, but also doesn't detract from what you're saying? So I pre-recorded a video, so we're going to mosey on over to pre-recorded corner to talk with me. And we're going to see what I've got to say about video backgrounds and what you can do with the stuff that you've got in the room to create a background that's distinctive. So there's a lot that goes into making a background, and I've tried to put together lots of different options for clients when they come here, because we've got quite a limited space. So we try and reuse as much stuff as possible, but try and make it look as different as possible. So, you know, the regular background of the video show with the sofa and the Back to the Future poster behind me and the other posters behind me, I've tried to make that look distinctive over the past sort of 50, 60 episodes. So we've reused some of that here. It's the same corner of the studio, but we brought a few new things in to try and make it look a little bit different. So the first main new thing is this desk here. So the reason we brought this in, the reason we built this particular background was because Jackie Mann from JM Associates came in to record some of her online course earlier this week, and she sent me some pictures of a video that she'd been watching and she liked the background of. So we tried to take elements of that and turn it into a very distinctive background for her online course. So as you know, we've got these apple boxes here that I got from my local garden centre. I've got 4 of those, and I've kind of built a shelving unit here. I've got together loads of books that I just had in a cupboard that weren't really doing anything, and I think it's quite a nice thing to have in the background. It makes you look a bit educated. It makes you look like you actually read books. I think I've read quite a lot of these, but yeah, it's a good thing to have in the background. Another thing is lights in the background. So over the last few months, I've invested in a few different lights. I had this lamp from my bedroom a few years ago, but it wasn't really doing anything. It was just sat on my desk. I never really used it. So it's a nice lamp from IKEA that is just sort of nice to go in the background. Another light is this Banker's lamp I bought from Amazon. I've always liked this style of light. Another thing is invested in different posters. So we've got a few new posters here. And the way that we attach these posters is just through command strips. So this means that we can change backgrounds really, really easily. So they just come off the wall and go back on the wall really easily. So some of the command strips I've left on the wall, so the Back to the Future command strips are still there. So I'm going to use the video show ones quite a lot, but they are quite easy to remove. They don't leave a mark on the wall, and then you can always put new posters up whenever you want. You'll see that in the other backgrounds that I show you further on in the episode. Another good thing that I've added recently are these fake plants. So obviously I couldn't have real plants in here because I don't have any natural light coming in. But having these fake plants, it just adds like a little element of homeliness. It makes it look a bit nicer, and it just adds something. Having something that's not cluttered, but it's quite full, I think that's quite a good idea for a background. So you don't want loads of clutter everywhere on the desk and stuff like that. You don't want it to look too busy, but you want it to look like it's someone's house, it's lived in, and it's like a working area that people work from. So I've actually got to take this background down now because we're filming an episode of another show later on today. So we're going to show what that process is like, how long that takes, and what kind of different backgrounds that we can build in this studio space. So what I'm trying to do with these backgrounds is to build different sets. So we've got the set we used for Jackie Mann and her course, and this set that we've built now, keep saying we, I mean this set that I've built now is a background for the show called The Mob Show. I'm going to show you a few shots of what this background looks like now. So it's a live chat show, basically. Guests come in via live streaming, and there's 2 hosts that are sat here in the studio, and they're sort of talking on the different sofas. But the idea is to make loads of different backgrounds in this space using some of the same stuff, and always trying to evolve the backgrounds and improve them and trying to make them look a bit different and a little bit better each time. So yeah, let me know what you think. And that's it for the pre-recorded corner of this section of the video show. Back to the studio. So I think it's quite interesting about what you can do in terms of backgrounds and the kind of things that I've done here to create a background that looks different in the same space. So I think it's a good idea to have a collection of maybe posters, different books, shelving that you can move around. So I'm using those boxes here that I can move into different sizes of shelves. So if you've got the option of creating a distinctive background, I'd recommend a few different things. So having some sort of shelf in the background is a good idea. Usage of books is a really good idea, and posters that don't detract from what you're saying. So they look quite distinctive. So as you can see, I've got the posters behind me here. I don't think they detract too much from what I'm saying, but I think they look quite cool. I particularly like this one. If anyone can tell me in the comments who that is, you get a point. Don't know what towards. A prize. There we go. So I think the main thing to do is tidy what's in the shot, use what you have, and relate it to your subject matter. So in the background in my videos, I've got stuff to do with video. So I've got an old camera I use, I've got an old film projector. And I think it's important not to be too obvious what your subject matter is about. So don't be so blatant like some people were during lockdown. So if anyone remembers Dominic Raab being on the TV, so yeah, he had a number of different books, sort of politically relevant books that he just put on his blind that made his blind just is so inconvenient in terms of opening those blinds. Yeah, I think don't make it look too obvious in terms of, oh, I've just sort of put this together, but have something that's always there. So have some books there, use some lighting, and I think my recommendation of the week this week would be to the good old command strips. I think this is a really good tool to have, just so you can move posters around really, really easily. You don't have to put a nail in the wall, you don't have to put a screw in the wall. You can just put these up and then you can move your posters around, move your pictures around. These come in all sorts of different sizes as well. And this is what I use for the posters here in the office. So it means I can move the posters around for different backgrounds. But then also if you get bored, then you can just move the posters or move the pictures around as and when you want. So that's it for episode 315 of the video show. We've been live here on LinkedIn. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you've got any questions for future episodes of the video show, feel free to put them in the comments below. And I'll see you next time in episode 316. Bye.